Vamos hoje ter o privilégio de ver e ouvir e acreditar num dos grandes instrumentistas desde o princípio do século. É o Sheppard, um saxofonista inglês, começou a tocar em Salisbury. É muito britânico, já vão ver em muitas coisas que vamos aqui tentar explicar. Ele toca praticamente desde os anos 80, talvez no fim dos anos 70, o primeiro álbum dele, que me recordo, é de 83, e portanto, vão ver, é uma longa vida. Ele toca soprano e tenor, saxofone de soprano e tenor, tem investido em vários estilos, do free até ao jazz rock, ouviu há uns anos a tocar Ravel, enfim, portanto, é um homem com uma sólida cultura musical. E tem um som inimitável, um som inigualável, muito preciso, muito conciso, muito claro. Dizia eu, muito preciso, muito claro, muito conciso, uma voz inimitável do jazz contemporâneo. Ele vem, sobretudo, tocar 3 temas da sua nova etiqueta, a ASM, onde ele tem tocado, penso que é o 5º álbum, ou 4º álbum, que lançou agora, o Romaria. É essencialmente um álbum de um jazz reflexivo em quarteto, muito acompanhado por um guitarrista que não está aqui, infelizmente, com eletrónica, mas o Eddie vai tocar os sopros e vai também, no fundo, criar o seu próprio ambiente elétrico. E portanto, espero que eu possa vir e quando ele acabar de tocar as 3 composições, que vai improvisar sobre os temas dos álbuns da ASM, vamos ter uma pequena conversa. Sheppard. I was just saying good things about you, okay? Okay. Your first one is Land of Nod? No. Yeah? Okay. Okay.
Okay, no pause.
So beautiful. Wonderful. Lots of coaches know Romaria from the original version. Repararam que ele, no meio da inspiração do ex-coach do Warner Coleman, o tema Romaria, que é um tema clássico, digamos, da canção popular brasileira. Perdão.
Sorry, I was trying to fool you. But I was just explaining that you put a bit of Romaria in the middle of a larger theme, and let's start by the beginning. I mean, you've been around for a while. You are a very distinctive voice in contemporary music and jazz, and I mean, we heard you in everything, like from free and pop to jazz rock, almost like when Miles Davis sing. I heard you playing Ravel with a quartet. I heard you like illustrating Shakespeare poems with music, which was a wonderful experience. And so, where do you think you are? I mean, what's your true nature? Do you consider yourself a jazz man, a musician in general?
I'm just a musician.
Right.
I like this word, jazz. Many people don't. You know, people have a problem with the word jazz because it denotes a certain type of music experience, I guess. But it's so broad, the church of jazz. So I'm very, very honored and proud to be called a jazz musician. But you know, I just think I'm just a musician. And all I do is I blow down a tube and I move my fingers. It's very simple. I could teach you all in an afternoon how to.
Sure.
I mean, the important thing is that when you play music, that the music begins inside you and you sing through your instrument. And hopefully communicate a feeling to the listener and the other musicians. And there's a chemistry, there's a feeling in the air. And my job as a musician is to try and make a feeling which touches something which is kind of, now I'm getting cosmic, but it's something which is just plugging ourselves into this thing which connects everyone.
Só para um instante para traduzir, claro que o Andy Sheppard já está entre nós há muito tempo, já tocou muitas coisas, e ele perguntei se ele se considera um jazzman ou outra coisa, um músico. Ele diz que é essencialmente um músico, mas não tem vergonha de ser chamado jazzman, porque gosta muito do jazz e do chamado, do dialeto do jazz. The next one, I mean, it's predictable. When you grew up as a musician and when you heard jazz, what would you hear? Because for people that like jazz, we hear so many things, influences. I mean, sometimes I hear Sonny Rollins, sometimes I hear Dexter, sometimes I hear Sam Garth, but I hear in soprano mainly John Servan. Do you have influences?
Of course. Yeah, I think every musician is influenced by the musicians that have gone before. John Servan. Yeah, he's a fellow. He's under the compatriot.
Yes.
He's British.
Yeah.
But I'm not British anymore. I'm European.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck that. Yeah. Anyway, excuse me. Yeah. I
can speak politics.
No, I can't play music, but I guess I'm really influenced by, Joe Coltrane, or it's just this, every kind of music, and we're all influenced by Johann Sebastian Bach.
Do you hear Bach a lot? Do you hear Bach a lot?
Yeah, I kind of got involved in a little bit of Bach then, didn't I?
You did?
A few arpeggios, because you're in that area, That's very kind of...
The classical music influence appears a lot in lots of things that you do. I mean, did you have a classical training?
No, I'm completely autodidact. Yeah, completely. So I'm still building up to my first lesson.
Eu perguntei-lhe sobre influências, o que é que ele ouve. Eu acho que ele tem muitos sons parecidos com o John Servan, um compatriota britânico. Também ouço muito o Sonny Rollins, o Stan Getz, etc. Mas ele diz que uma das grandes influências... é essencialmente o John Coltrane. E mais uma vez ele diz que é um autodidata, enfim, mas que ouve também muita música clássica e citou o Bach. Just connecting to that. These days, when you've been playing in duo, in trio, in quartet, do you have any favorite formation? I mean, what you like more at this moment? I mean,
well, obviously I'm very much into my current band.
Yeah, which is a quartet?
Yeah, which is a quartet. But last week I was in Catania, Palermo, playing with a big band, playing my big band music.
Okay, because I forgot about your big band. Your first one had hand banging.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Great controversial drummer.
Yeah, well, I hired Ham Bennett because I've been playing with him in Amsterdam, and I said, "Man, would you like to come and play in my big band?" And he said, "No."
That's a good recommendation.
Well, Han, he said, I don't want to be giving cues to trumpet players and, having a responsibility. And I said, no, it's okay, because I have another drummer as well. He said, big band with two drummers? I said, yeah. And the other guy is young, and he will do exactly what we tell him to do. He will give all the cues to and you can be a libero.
Right.
And then he said, yes. And that was the beginning of that story, which was fantastic.
But so for you, at this moment, I mean, you like to experiment between groups, I mean, like a band, a quartet, or...
Well, I'm a working musician, so, next week or tomorrow I'm going to play with a quartet in Venice, in Italy, with musicians I never met before.
Good.
So this is the essence of this word, this music called jazz, is that we can go to play with people anywhere in the world who have no, common language other than the music, I guess. And the spirit and the sense of adventure and the love of playing music.
Eu fiz só uma pequena digressão, perguntei se ele gostava mais de tocar como hoje toca em quarteto. Aliás, na sua nova etiqueta na SM, ele toca agora um quarteto. O último CD, o Romaria, que eu aconselho vivamente, é em quarteto. Mas ele diz que gosta também de tocar numa big band. Ele já teve uma big band com este baterista que eu falei, o Han Benning, que é um dos mais geniais e loucos bateristas do jazz mundial. Mas portanto ele diz que, enfim, ele é um músico de jazz e portanto gosta de ser surpreendido por qualquer tipo de formação. What do you think of the state of jazz today? I mean, is it exciting?
I think it's always exciting. What is exciting is that the music. I mean, for me, improvisation, which is a central pillar of this music we call jazz, that has been around since people first started to make music. Right. Because, the very first human beings, were improvising.
Right.
So, you have to think about that. But there's a kind of history of jazz, American jazz, etc., European jazz, different families of jazz. It's been around for a while. So now there's this very interesting phenomenon where you can go and study this music at university.
Yeah.
So you get an awful lot of young musicians who are incredibly well versed in the language, in the formula of how to improvise, and they're playing great. And so these young people, all they have to do is to get a story. Once they've lived a little, I would advise a couple of wives, a few kids.
So you don't subscribe to this. So you don't subscribe to the theory that jazz died.
No. I think it's. There's a
famous quip from Frank Zappa: "Jazz is not dead; it just smells funny."
Yeah. But I really dig Frank Zappa.
Wow. I adore Frank Zappa.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know Snarky Puppy, the American band?
Yeah,
very Zappa oriented.
Of course, he's
Big
a very influential character, and a wonderful musician, wonderful writer.
Yeah.
So,
do you like to play with guitar players? Because I heard you with so many guitar players from a guy that I'm going to present some weeks from now, Steve Tilston, which is a folk musician. To your present guitar player that is incredible, Scandinavian that plays great.
Yeah.
That's to who else you played with? John Martin.
Yeah.
I mean,
John
played
Scofield.
with John Scofield also.
Yeah, I play with a lot of.
You like to play with strings with guitar?
I love guitar. I play guitar.
You play guitar.
Yeah.
I suspected that there was a secret connection. But
I have some very nice guitars, but the thing about guitar is you can never have enough.
That's true.
It's a very expensive addiction to be a guitarist. But what I love about guitar, what I love about Eivind Arseth, is that he uses the guitar in an orchestral manner.
Right.
And he creates soundscape.
So he saves you time with your pedals.
Well, I mean, I use the pedals, they're toys. I have some fun.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I'm doing, but he is an expert.
Yes.
And the thing is that unlike electronic keyboards, synthesizers, you don't just patch in a number. With a guitar, you have
it's more you make.
hiss, buzz, scripts, it goes out of tune, it's kind of like a living beast.
Sure.
And so it always sounds fresh, It kind of, it's an interesting, dynamic instrument.
It's like driving manual gear and not automatic gear.
I like both.
Yeah. Só para dizer, estávamos a falar um bocado sobre a música que ele toca. Eu suspeitava que ele gostava muito de guitarra porque ele tem tocado com muitos guitarristas, desde o folk até o jazz. Ele próprio confessou-se que é um cripto-guitarrista também e explicou que a guitarra é um instrumento muito humano, mesmo quando toca de eletrónico. Já agora aconselho no Romaria a ouvir o guitarrista que ele tem no quarteto, que é um escandinavo, que toca a guitarra de uma forma orquestral com acompanhamento eletrónico espetacular. You have also an Italian connection. You've been playing with Italian players for a while. I mean, is there something about Italy that fascinates you or that you like about the sound? Because some people say that there is an Italian sound. in jazz and in other types of music?
It's wonderful.
Progressive rock, etc.
Yeah. No, I mean, but Italy has produced incredible Enrico Rava and Paolo Fresu. I mean, I play a lot with Rita Marcotuli, the fantastic composer, pianist, human being. And she said to me many years ago that we are all in the same family now. It's like the European jazz family. Although I'm also in the American one because I play a lot with American musicians. But it's a wonderful thing that in each country you begin to get hooked up and friends and have a relationship, a musical relationship and a human relationship with people, which brings you into. I travelled the world through playing an English because it's such a privilege and it's such a wonderful thing, you know. That I mean, I love going to Italy and I love the musicians, and every country has fantastic.
You're now in ECM as a label. Are you exclusively there, or you can also play with other labels? Or I don't want to discuss the contract with you, but are you only an ECM artist at this moment?
Technically, I mean, I only record my music, my compositions with ECM, and I am how do you say? A little kind of promiscuous.
Right.
But because I do make records as a guest with other people. I've just made 2.
Right.
And one was really good. But anyway, I think this is, in today's world, when things happen in a natural way, and you play with somebody and you think, oh, this is special. You have to follow the music. But I do draw the line at only playing my compositions with ECM. I'd much rather only make records with ECM, but ECM only release so many records, and I have I have more music in me than can fit.
Perguntei primeiro sobre a ligação dele à Itália, porque ele tem tocado muito com música italiana, depois perguntei se ele era neste momento só músico da etiqueta ECM, que é uma etiqueta muito especial em termos de estética, em termos de som, etc. Do you identify yourself with ECM spirit in aesthetics, in sound?
Yes.
Best sound next to sounds or something, as they used to say.
I think yes, because since I joined ECM, I've made 4 records. I mean, I've made many records on ECM as a sideman but I've made 4 under my name, and they've all been. I've taken care to make my aesthetic marry that of the label, which I've been following since I first started music, because it's been there ever since I began, and I love the aesthetic of ECM, and I'm very honoured to be part of it.
I recall that some years ago when Ornette Coleman died, I was doing a show for television, and I had to finish with a song, and this was inside of a ship, so I went to get surrounded by sea, by you, and it was the composition about Ornette, looking for Ornette. Yeah, so I used that as at the end. I didn't pay any copyrights. It was only some seconds. What does Ornette Coleman tell you? Do you have anything in common? It was another universe. I mean, much more dissonant, much less interested in
I think
melodies.
Ornette Coleman, he wrote great tunes. I mean, fantastic tunes. They're very difficult Ornette Coleman tunes. They sound simple, childlike, but there's always.
You say
a twist.
Difficult, or you think they are just complicated?
They're beautiful things.
Oh yeah.
And Ornette, I think, was one of those human beings that come along every now and again, and they just kind of do something completely different. They come from another space and change everyone's. They bring something new to the table. So he was a very important figure in the development of music. And he also wore the most incredible suits.
That's true. That's true.
And he did offer me a job once.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was playing in America, in Pennsylvania, on a live TV program with Carla Blaine, Steve Swallow, and Ornette's band were playing.
I was
on the
living
same
in
show.
Philadelphia at that time, I recall.
Yeah, and Ornette was I was there in the TV studio. There was an audience of one. It was me, and Ornette's band were like right in front of me, and it was mind blowing because at that time he was playing very, very loud music,
That's true.
very amplified. But in the TV studio, it wasn't so loud,
That's true.
so you could hear what normally was kind of a wall of sound. You could actually hear all the detail, and we spoke, you know, and he liked what I did with Con and Steve. He said, anytime, and, you know, I just thought, you're joking.
Falámos aqui um bocado sobre o Ornette Coleman. O Andy tem uma composição sobre Coleman no disco Surrounded by Sea, e falámos um bocado sobre, apesar de o Ornette ser geralmente um homem associado ao free, a verdade é que tem muitas melodias complicadas e algumas difíceis de chegar, e que o Andy diz que é um adepto, e para além disso o Ornette Coleman gostava de se vestir de uma maneira exuberante e ofereceu também um fato ao Andy Sheppard. What kind of music you don't like, you don't hear? Tell me one thing that you really hate.
What I really hate is when you go for a coffee in a bar and they play this banal music that has one chord or two chords,
Right.
and a little line that goes "Udududida, udududida, udududida," you know, for like 5 minutes.
What would happen if your music would be played in an elevator or a shopping center as ambient music would not mind?
Yeah,
Music for elevators.
music for elevators. You see, this is a complicated, because I don't hear my music as being elevator music, because there's little, on the surface, it's not coming out of the speakers and poking you in
Right.
the eye or in
Right.
the ear. But if you really listen, there's a lot of interaction and there's a lot of stuff going on which is kind of, you don't find in elevator music. You know, I had a big problem with this notion of elevator music when Kenny G first appeared, because you know, I'm not a fan of that sound of soprano saxophone or this kind of music. You know, it doesn't do it for me. Fine, and I was on tour. I was in Europe. In every hotel, you get in the lift and it's this music. You know, and the next night you're in another country, another lift, another hotel, same music. You know. Then I got on an airplane. I went to Bangkok. And I've been in the hotel, same music. And I went to Australia, again, the same music. I thought, oh boy, you know, maybe I'm doing something wrong, or I'm on the wrong planet or something. You know. But I'm going to take the stairs from now on.
Estávamos a falar um bocado se ele tem problemas em música dele ser aproveitada, por exemplo, em elevadores ou centros comerciais e ser usada como música ambiente. Ele diz que tem algum problema com isso. Se bem que haja gosto para tudo. E falámos agora do Kenny G, que não é propriamente o músico preferido do Andy Sheppard.
Don't you think that one problem with that kind of music is that you don't need to concentrate to hear the music? You can just shop, etc. You can do your laundry and you are hearing it.
Yeah, but that is another problem that we have. Not a problem, but it's a sadness, I think, in the world that there's too much music, incidental music surrounding us all the time, and it becomes, by virtue of being always something going on somewhere, it kind of devalues the currency, you know, and it becomes the thing we take for granted instead of a thing of great beauty that, you know, like so many things, you know, and when it comes a background thing, it's a track.
What about music made by computers and programmers and people that don't care about music? Because, of course, there was a time when musicians experimented with lots of things, including computers. I recall Paul Bley with his first synthesizer that was a thing this big. But what about the possibility of music being one day done by non-humans?
Well, it is already. It exists.
Yeah, but totally, from the beginning to the end.
Well, the thing is that the computer doesn't have a story.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet, no. I mean, that's a very worrying, artificial intelligence and robots. And, I mean, this human thing, but I don't know what it is, but all I can say is, I'll give you an example. I was giving a masterclass to small children, I was giving a a demonstration
Right.
to small children, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds.
Yeah, class by the master.
Yeah. I played the saxophone and all the kids were like, you know. And one little girl said to me, she was 5 years old, she said, where does the sound start? Because she could see the instrument, see the mouthpiece, and thought it was, she couldn't get it, you know.
No.
And I said, wow, what do you mean, where does the music start? She said, yes, where does it come from? Where does it start? And I said, sing me a note, sing me a song. And she was shy. But then I said, la, 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 fantastic. Sing again, la. I said, where does that note come from? And she went, immediately, you know.
Right.
And I said, exact, you know. And then that note comes from here, from you, and it goes out into the room and it connects with the people around you. Then there's something magical can happen.
Right.
And I think a musician who has experience, has travelled, lived, has all the, you have something to communicate, which is your kind of story, you know. And I don't think computers have that, that human art. Yeah, I mean, you can make music on a computer that sounds very, very impressive.
Right.
But the emotional, spiritual side, the cosmic side, is zero.
Falámos agora de uma coisa um bocadinho mais experimento, mais presente, que é a possibilidade de um dia a música ser toda feita por não humanos, por computadores que se reproduzem a si próprios e que criam e executam e que veem. E ele diz que não há nada como a magia da música saída do homem. E deu o exemplo de uma criança que não sabia bem de onde é que vinha a música que ele tocava, e ele fez essa criança cantar e ela percebeu de onde é que vinha a música. Well, I think we are running out of time. It was a pleasure. I hope that you like Portugal. We usually don't have this rain, but we need rain because you know that we've been burning for
yes,
for 1 year, so we need rain. But I hope you like Portugal. I mean, there's a certain soul here. We are different from it's not Spain.
No, I know. Very much. I love.
Don't forget that.
Yeah, I was saying that today it's like a summer's day in England. You know.
Oh yeah, sure.
So the rain.
No more British jokes.
Right. But it's no problem for me, and I know that you need the rain. Of course.
Do you know something about Portuguese jazz? Have you been in contact with our jazz man?
I've just been talking to. I bumped into one.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, for years, I've been coming and I played with a lot of Portuguese musicians. So not enough. And now I'm living here. I'm, open to. I'm going to start working with more. I've already formed a little band for fun. So yeah, of course.
Do you need a singer? Because my daughter adores you, but she's more on bossa nova and Brazilian jazz, but which is a great.
Beautiful.
Anyway, just to run, a friend of mine that met you in the States said the music of Andy is spacious, airy. He said airy, it's full of air, folky, precise, and romantic.
Wow.
Is it accurate?
Yeah, sounds like I paid him well.
No, it was sincere, but do you see yourself being described like this?
Yeah, I think I do have several hats.
Right.
Because I am, as a professional musician, over the years when the phone rings and you get a job,
sure,
you take the job because that's how you put the yum on the table. And when I was hired by George Russell, he wanted me to play in a specific, not necessarily, he wanted a certain thing from a saxophone player, which was incredible energy and sort of pyrotechnics. He wanted this ball of fire on top of the band. And I could do that when I was a lot younger. But I could fulfill that role because I saw that that's what's needed in this context. And when I played with John Martin, I played in a different way, and I played with a rock band playing, and with my music, I try and play me. And I think this description Yeah,
It's one of your hats. It describes well one of your hats, the green one.
The complete suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's,
O Andy Sheppard já tocou praticamente com toda a gente, falou agora de uma experiência que eu tinha esquecido com o George Russell, o compositor. Um amigo meu nova-iorquino descreveu a música dele como espaçosa, cheia de ar, folky, muito ligada à música tradicional, romântica e precisa. Ele diz que é dos chapéus.
Okay. You really played with everyone. I recall you when I was not a teen, but entering my. You with Urban Sex, the French group. I recall with Keith Tippett. That was also. I mean, I adore Keith Tippett. I recall with everyone. Thanks for bringing George Russell also. And what you think you will take? Will you ever retired as a jazzman or?
oh no, and I can.
You will play until the last day.
Well, Carla Bley said to me, and this is a typical Carla Bley quote, because she's very droll.
She is.
She said, you know, the thing about jazz musicians is you get better and better and better and better and better and better and better, and then you die.
So jazz musicians never die; they just fade away. Okay.
You know, you have to keep playing. I mean, that's what we do.
Andy Sheppard.